Hi Virgo, welcome to Metamystic Tarot. My name is Saint I, and I have a reading for you today. So before we even get into anything, I just want to bring a little oil into the situation and just bring it all together. Now, if you're new to my channel, not only do I read the cards, but I also do channeled messages. I have visions, I have dreams. So let's let the light in, Virgo. Let's let the light in today, because what I saw for you guys is gorgeous, and I really feel like this is a message for somebody. Not that it's not for a group. It is. The bigger message is for a group, but this is something really, really profound. So we have let the light in. That's very important, right, Virgo? To remember to kind of block out the other energies that might not suit us necessarily, and to let the ones in and be the ones that are most beneficial for us, we will keep around, right, Virgo? So let's take a look at the channeled message today. This is the imagery I saw. I saw a woman sitting on the ground in the wilderness, and it was very like Native American. Even the music that I was listening to while I was meditating, it was very Native American, which, I mean, personally, I love. So this message to me is like very comforting. Anyways, I saw a woman sitting on the ground in the wilderness, and the trees and the mountains were all around her. The sun was setting. It was this beautiful sunset, and the woman was in communion with nature. The energies were swirling around her, and I saw it was kind of like the northern lights. That green, those beautiful, it was like these energies were swirling around this woman as she was sitting in this kind of Native American garb in the mountains. And as the night fell, all of these creatures, all of these animals came around the woman. And she was looking up into the sky at night, and the stars were this dense, beautiful, diamond-like, thick, gorgeous, like if you've ever been in the mountains, you've never seen stars like that. And that's what this scene was. And as she was looking up, the animals were looking up, and everything was like one. As I was seeing this, I felt like everything was one. Nature, animals, this woman, she was one with all of creation. And I saw a shooting star go by, and after the shooting star went by, the woman was transported into a city scene. And as she was in this city scene, it was like people were slamming into her. They were on their phones. There was, it smelled terrible. She felt very agitated. She felt very uncomfortable. And it's not that she didn't love the people around her. It's not like she was some sort of like crabby person. It was just everything was irritating. Even the skin. I felt this woman's skin. It was sensitive. Everything was like bothering her, like in this city scene as she was walking through this crowd, like any big city. I live in a city. I know what it's like to live in a city, and I know what it's like to live in nature. And let me just say, this woman, she preferred the nature. Let's just say that. So with that said, this is a message of like, I want to say confirmation for people who kind of feel crazy. And I'm just going to say it like that, because this is a message for people that are like, what's my problem? Like, why can't I just be like all my friends? Like, why can't I just fit in? I'm hearing, why can't I just be like everybody else? Nobody else seems to have sensitive skin. Nobody else seems to be bothered by the fact that people are literally just like looking at their phone all day, every day, like not even present in reality, complete dissociation. I mean, how many books I mean, I've read so many books, like so many psychology books about things like this, and we're seeing it right in front of our faces happening, the mass disassociation from ourselves, from our bodies. You know, and I feel like I'm hearing Virgos out there saying, like, why me? Why do I have to be the nature girl that comes in and is like the wet blanket who starts talking about these things? You know, everybody else, 10 of Swords, seems to be fine with it, but I'm not cool with it. I'm hearing. I'm not cool with it. I feel bad here, I'm hearing. I mean, actually, I'm hearing, I feel dead. I feel like this is killing me, 10 of Swords, or I'm already dead. Virgo. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, I'm thinking about that sunset. That sunset that I saw in the vision of this nature woman with her Native American garb and all the, I was going to say all the angels around her, probably that too, all the animals around her. Okay, this is too many cards, but I'll take them. 6 of Cups, the Star, and the 10 of Cups. Okay? And then Temperance at the bottom of the deck. See, I just talked about angels, and here's the angel. The Star is also that kind of celestial energy. We were talking about the stars at night, looking up into the stars, receiving messages from the stars, I'm hearing, looking up into the stars, connecting with the ancients, I'm hearing, the ancients. So let's look a little deeper at this, Virgo. Let's clarify here. I also have 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We have 10 of Wands. We have 10 of Swords. There is this feeling of a death. There is this feeling of going back to 6 of Cups, childhood thoughts. I'm a 90s kid. I remember what it was like, you know, when we had dial-up internet. When you're signing on to like AOL Messenger. I remember what it was like before all this, right, Virgo? And it's kind of like you're going back to that, I'm hearing. You're going back to the simple times of childhood. When you would play out in the grass on a summer night and look up into the sky and just collapse into nothingness, you know, just into joy without all of this noise I'm hearing. And it's not just like, oh, you can't handle noise. No, it's not that. It's deeper than that. It's like you are agitated by, I'm hearing the blindness of everyone, the blind leading the blind, I'm hearing. So let's clarify these. We have 10 of Swords, 6 of Cups, the Star, and the 10 of Cups. So we go from the 6 of Cups to the 10 of Cups. And I'm feeling like what's happening here is you realize that you went through some sort of like spiritual death. And the way I'm seeing this is actually an enlightenment by, you know, understanding about the simple like truths and pleasures of life, that there's more to life than, you know, what it seems. Going from the 6 to the 10, and then we also have the Star here, which we're going to clarify everything, but first let's clarify the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords for Virgo, please. Great to have you all here, by the way. If you're interested in hearing the extended, you can hit me up over on Patreon. Link at the top of the description, Virgo. I do readings for all signs every single week, so you can get your sun, moon, and rising over there. It helps me raise money for the channel to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm literally making it $11 a month, so it's accessible to all. All right, 10 of Swords for Virgo, please. 10 of Swords for Virgo. One more pass on this. Just opening myself up to any messages from my angels, from my guides about this situation, because this is a very spiritual reading. This is a very, like... I mean, I feel like my skin feels sensitive, like I sensed in that vision that I saw. Yeah, 5 of Cups here. So we have the 5 of Cups on the 10 of Swords. There is a sadness in this evolution, I'm hearing. There's a sadness going from... There's a sadness with coming out of the cave, where all your friends and family are kind of left behind, to use Christian terminology. I mean, it's not necessarily Christian, it's not really in the Bible, but modern Christianity talks about the rapture, right? So we have this feeling of like, I'm moving forward into all these new deep things, these spiritual notions, but everybody else is being left behind. And that's not necessarily true. Let's continue to clarify with the Six of Cups here. Six of Cups for Virgo, please. And remember, Virgo, we will continue this conversation over on Patreon if this is resonating with you. Six of Cups for Virgo. Six of Cups for Virgo. Much love to you, Virgo. I know it's tough. We have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, and it's happening fast. I feel like there's a sense of an overload. Like, you're having all these downloads from the divine. You're having all of these revelations of like the state of the world, I'm hearing, and your place in being part of the solution. It is very Eight of Wands. It is very like it's coming at you, and it is a lot to process. And I feel like that imagery of the girl going from nature into the city, that is a very different situation than being out in the wilderness with the animals and with the sky, you know, in this shamanic place, to more of like a busy city street. But you feel like you need to be there to make a difference, I'm hearing. So that's why you're there. Clarify the star for Virgo, please. Clarify the star. This star is naked. I'm thinking of that show, Naked and Afraid. This star is naked here, and there's an element of bearing your vulnerability, bearing your truth, and also maybe people kind of thinking you're like, you think you're better than them or whatever. The Chariot. So there is an element of leaving those energies behind, and I'm coming back to this again. I remembered this energy from the start of the read. There was an element of like getting rid of, quote unquote, the energies around you that are just not beneficial to you. It's not about being mean. It's just about setting up healthy boundaries, realizing what you can and can't take, I'm hearing, and just being graceful about it. Just like the star, you're a healer, you're a lover. I mean, you're a Virgo, for God's sake. But you are, quote unquote, leaving the Chariot, some of these toxic things behind, but still keeping your beauty, your healing nature intact, your nature girl, like we saw that girl out in the wilderness with the animals around her. You're keeping that purity with you, like this star card. You're not letting the invasive see, I can't even talk, the invasive energies choke you out, so to speak. 10 of Cups for Virgo. 10 of Cups for Virgo. What is this 10 of Cups? Because we go from the 6 to the 10, so there is an element of graduation here. You're coming into your happiness. You're finding your sweet spot, your right place in the world. 10 of Cups for Virgo. This rainbow is symbolic of a promise to you that was made possibly in 6 of Cups childhood, that you were born to be a star of sorts, star seed, somebody who is a light worker, somebody who's a healer. This is something that you've known about. This is something that you have understood. And I saw this 3 of Pentacles before, and now we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a very charismatic personality. The King of Wands is a leader. The King of Wands is somebody who, you know, is somebody who's able to get things done, and working on things. I feel like there's a very practical element to all this. Yes, you're very spiritual, but you know how to bring it down to earth, and you know how to be, you know, walk the walk, talk the talk, be charismatic with people, get people to hear you out, hear your ideas, understand where you're going with things. And you have to have that. If you're gonna make a difference in the world, you and I both know you have to have that 3D element to you. Yes, you could be off in the ethers. Yes, you could be, you know, communicating with the stars, but at the end of the day, we're in the real, quote unquote, real world, you know, take that as you will. with, you know, we see three people in this Three of Pentacles where they're working together, they're talking through things. One person is holding open like a contract or something, plans, a blueprint for this other person to look at. You know, we need to be able to work with people and network and stuff while we're getting our job done, I'm hearing, with the star. So if this has resonated with you, Virgo, head on over to Patreon, link at the top of the description. Been great talking to you today, and I will see you next time. Bye, Virgo.